Hey there, viewers! A Transformers fan or Charlie Young back again with another Transformers review. And today's review is going to be on Reveal the Shield Grapple. Oh, sorry. Did I say Grapple? I meant Solar Storm Grappel. Yes, Grappel. Grappel. Ugh. So, them not having a trademark for Grapple, I can understand because they seem to have a lot of trademark issues back in the day. Remember stuff like Street Smart or freaking like Quick Slinger instead of Slingshot? But apparently some bozo had the trademark for Solar Storm Grapple or something. Or they just couldn't get the rights to it, so they went with Solar Storm Grappel. That or it was just a straight up typo on the box. Like, I don't know. But anyway, speaking of the box, normally I would show it, but I actually got this figure second hand, so no box. But with the powers of editing, here's the box. And we can see that Reveal the Shield boxes were kind of cool looking, to be honest. Like, they had this cool, like, yellow theme to them. They had this, like, I guess, level system to show how intense the transformation was. Grapple was an intermediate transformation. And, well, we can see that the whole gimmick of Reveal the Shield was essentially we didn't know what elitist the figure was until we revealed the shields. So, yeah, they came with a little rub sign. So, yeah. And plus, here's the UK box. Pretty much the same, but the back is kind of different. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. But yeah, for the actual figure, well, obviously with this being Grapple, it's a remold of Inferno. In this case being Universe Inferno. And this has actually seen a couple of uses, because of course we've got Universe Inferno, the Henkei version, which I kind of want to get. Got this guy in the Japanese version, but we also have Hotspot in GDO, which I really want to get. Artfire, which is, well, according to TF Wiki, is kind of rare. I kind of want to get that. Another version of Hotspot, which uses this more for some reason with the crane arm. And even BotCon Pyro or Spark. And I kind of want to get, like, most versions of this mod because, I mean, I really like how this vehicle mode looks. You can see it's just a big burly crane or a fire engine if you've got Inferno. And yeah, I really like how this looks. Like, of course, this is back when Voyagers were actually, like, quite big. You can see the windshield right here. Pretty sure these are meant to be, like, wipers. Yeah, you can kind of see right there. But, of course, we've got the front here. I think those are meant to be seats molded in, which is a nice attention to detail. Got the little mirrors right there. Got some of the hazard stripes. Of course, got the wheels. We'll talk about the rub sign a bit later. Got a bunch of molding detail right here, because, of course, this was back before they tried to make things cartoon accurate. This was back when they were just all, oh, let's just make the G1 characters look modern. Which, honestly, I think they should probably try and go back to that, to be honest. Especially seeing how, like, modern Studio Series G1's trying to be as cartoon accurate as possible. But yeah, we got, like, some more hazard stripes right here. Got some pistons. Back, we got some exhaust right there. Underneath, we don't have any kibble whatsoever, which is amazing. And of course, the crane arm, which does do quite a lot of things. Like, this can go up by that far. This can extend with the hook, which can move about. So yeah, oh yeah, and this can also move around. Like, you can see it there's this little black thing that moves around. That's for the transformation, but it can move separate from that, although it's quite tight. But I think that's what this is meant to move for the vehicle mode. So you can do that. And honestly, I think that looks amazing. So you can get some cool poses in vehicle mode. And I think we should finally talk about the rub sign, because that was the whole shtick with reveal the shield. So I'm going to see this little black splodge right here. That's actually a rub sign, because, of course, if you remember back in G1, for example, I've got Ronimus here. Yeah, this is dusty, I know, hang on. But for G1 toys, for like, what, first year to the fourth year, they all had rub signs, and what you had to do was rub this. And I don't think this is working too well. Oh, no, you can see it. It would show what faction the character is in. Like, obviously we know that Ronimus is an Autobot. But it was a cool gimmick. And apparently it was used to tell Transformers apart from, like, other transforming toys, like GoBots, for example. At least that's what I've been, like, told. And plus, they did do, like, certain toys that were packaged with the mini-bots, you know, like the mini-spies, where you didn't even know if they were good or bad until you did the little rub sign thing, which I think they should bring that back. That would be really cool. And of course, they have brought that back from time to time, like Beast Wars, they sort of brought that back. Classics, yeah, they brought the rub signs back. So we got Ronimus again. And yeah, this works a lot better, because it's, I mean, this is like, what, nearly 20 years old, but this still works. So you can see, yeah, it's an Autobot. And yeah, they did change how the rub sign looks for reveal the shield here, but this still works. So you just rub it, or if you want to just hold your finger against it, but I'm just going to rub this. And you can see, yeah, he's an Autobot. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Kind of wish they still used the original style rub sign just for like nostalgic purposes, but this works. And yeah, you can still hold your finger against it. That probably works a bit better, honestly. And then as it gets colder, it just fades off. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the vehicle mode. There is no accessories with this guy. None. At least with Inferno, he had a missile, because, of course, figures back in the day had firing missiles. But with Grapple, not so much. It's just, well, him. So, that's a good segue to talk about how he compares with our modern Grapple, which is nearly 6 years old, but still, this is our most modern Grapple so far. He was Earthrise Grapple. So you can see that one's going for like a more, like, what are Transformers, a more modern aesthetic. One is trying to be cartoon accurate. And yeah, I do like Earthrise Grapple, despite that peg issue, you know, where the pegs get stuck and they break off. But, dude, look. These are both Voyagers, and, well, the reveal of the shield figure just, it's way, like, bigger looking. Like, it's more meaty, for lack of a better term. I just prefer how the reveal of the shield figure looks compared to Earthrise. I know, I mean, it's like a 10-year difference between these guys, but I just prefer how this guy looks. So yeah, I do want to get, like, the Inferno as well. Honestly, I wish they did a hauler from this guy. Like, I don't know, it's an e-hobby or a Timelines or something, because that would have been cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about the vehicle mode. So let's move on to the transformation, because there are some gripes with the transformation, but we'll get there. So this guy's transformation, let's just say it's not a shell former, absolutely not, but it's still quite panel heavy. So to start, I'm just going to take the crane arm here and just rotate it around, because unlike how Grapple is meant to be, this is not on his back. This is actually like an arm weapon. So that's pretty unique. Just gonna have the hook right there. And let's just start undoing the panels. So these gray panels in the middle, we're just going to fold them around. And these panels at the back, we're just going to undo them and fold them around. And that exposes a couple of things. Namely, we've got the feet here. So might as well just move the feet down and get them out of the way. So that's the feet. Next, we go, put these panels right here. So just want to try and untab them. And peg this at the middle. And just try and untab this, which is kind of tricky to do. There we go. So these can just lift up, kind of like gull wing doors. These panels will fold up. And then we can get the shoulders forward. And I might as well talk about a complaint I've got right now. These arms, it's really easy to just take them off, because you can see they're not on a mushroom joint. This is shadowing the whole thing. They're just attached on like so. So it's kind of a bit too easy to pull them off by accident. So be careful when looking for this guy online, because he could be missing the arms. So just be wary. But we're just going to spin around these panels to the back. Come around to the back here. The front wheels are just going to spin around. And hilariously, he can still roll like this. It's a bit wobbly, but it still works. Undo the legs. Just untap this black panel from the arse, I guess. But then all this can just move down, and that hides the front wheels. The legs spin around. And we can see that, yep, he's pretty tall. This section moves down and form a waist. Trying to get everything straightened here. Straighten out this arm with the crane. Straighten out this arm here. These bits are just going to go in. They don't really click into place, but they do kind of like stay in, if that makes any sense. This black bit is going to stay out the way, because we do have a dramatic head reveal. So what you do is you take this siren right here, which I say siren, they're more like lights, I guess, but I guess they're like leftover from Inferno. But we take this siren, move it forward, and the head flips up, and then with the little black bit here, that folds it up. Now we just straighten everything so he looks natural. And here we have Grapple, or Grappel, sorry, in robot mode. And I think already you can see something about this figure. He's got a bloody walking stick. So yeah, just due to how he transforms, and since he's a remold of Inferno, who had a water cannon weapon, this guy just has to deal with hulking around this huge crane arm as a weapon, I guess. No, you can't naturally take it off. So yeah, it's kind of cumbersome. It's awkward, to be honest, but still. Although I guess if you want to, you can spin this around. Hang on. There we go. You could maybe spin this around, but then it gets in the way of this. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation right here. I just keep it facing forward where, yeah, it's just out his arm, but I just see it as like a weapon of some sort. Even because, as you can probably see, the hands don't really have the, like, ports to hold anything. So you can't fucking any guns to his hands, unfortunately. Now, this is merely just an issue on Grapple, Art5, because he apparently has a crane arm now for some reason, and I think, like, the red version of Hotspot has that as well. Like, if you have, like, GDO, Hotspot, or Universe Inferno, then it's a lot less cumbersome, because it's just a tiny water cannon, which can be used as a missile launcher, so... But anyway, looking at the figure, you can see he's got these panels here, which, if you want, you can actually split these out a different way. And I have seen people do this. So if you want, you can have it like this, and I mean, sure, that does work. It could be like cool wings. Now that one's stuck. Oh no. So you could have these as cool wings if you so desire. But me personally, I just prefer to be boring and just have these at the back. As they're intended. But anyway. We can see that the back now has the rub sign. We can see something on the head, which I'll show later. But there is something else weird, which I'll also show later. But for now, let's look at the head, which is colored black. Because in the show, of course, his head is orange. So, yeah. Now, the Japanese version does have this as orange, so if you want, you can just get that one. But, ignoring that, look, light piping. That's a rare sight nowadays, isn't it? But, moving on from a cool thing to a pretty weird thing. Why does his waist do this? Like, come on, it's just... So apparently you can just give him scoliosis for some reason. Like, maybe this is meant to help with poses or something, but it's just awkward, and it kind of, like... It kind of hinders, like, trying to maneuver him. So that's kind of awkward, and I'm not really a big fan of that. So, yeah. But, honestly, he still looks pretty cool. Normally this is where I'd show the weapons, but he doesn't really have any. Although I guess you could use this, like, he just moves his arm forward. And then he just whacked the Decepticons with it or something, I don't know. But honestly, let's just put him with fries. And remember, these are both Voyagers. And yeah, a bit of a size difference there. Although, yeah, Earthrise is more cartoon accurate, so if you're just an absolute nut when it comes to cartoon accuracy, get the Earthrise, but honestly, I think I'm kind of preferring the Reveal the Shield version. Like, even if this one does have a cool claw. And we did get Hola from this guy, but So, yeah. In fact, you can see that this guy has a crane, has like a weird ponytail as well. You know, as it's meant to be, but still, I'm preferring Grappel. Now, finally, how's the articulation? Because keep in mind, this guy came out at a time where articulation wasn't really standardized yet. That was like Siege. Well, the head can go side to side. I think he's on a board, so yeah, he can nod. Arms, well, some of the ratchet joints that can move. You can T-pose. Of course, you can swivel, just be careful not to pop the arms off. Elbows, about that far. Wrists, there's nothing. Waist, there's nothing, although I guess you can do this as compensation. If we move the skirt forward, he can kick forward that far. Kick back about that far. Can't really do the splits, unfortunately. So, if anything, this is probably like why this is probably why he does this. It's because of this articulation right here. I think I found out why. So, yeah, this is the culprit. This joint right here. But anyway, pretty good knee. Of course, the thigh can swivel, the whole knee can swivel as well due to the transformation. Bit of pivot, not that much. And of course, the toe can move. So yeah, not as posable as modern day, but still quite good. I mean, it can be kind of awkward to try and get him standing straight. Especially with that bit right here, but still, I quite like this. And I definitely do want to get some more versions of this mold. Namely, Inferno, GDO Hotspot, and I'm trying to remember, is it E-Hobby? Like, the Artfire. I also do want to get Pyro, but that's a botcon figure. And as we know, trying to get a botcon figure is not the cheapest. So that might just be a holy grail for me. So, yeah. But do I recommend this figure? Well, for my complaints, well, the arms do come off. Like, if you're not careful, the arms can come off. Got this. And this can be a bit of a cumbersome thing, but did they drag the figure down? Honestly, no. Because, obviously, you can transform the figure without the arms coming off. You just have to not be rough with the figure. This is honestly a cool looking weapon thing for me. And this is just because of this bit of articulation here. So, do I recommend it? Well, in 2025, honestly, I'd still recommend this. Because keep in mind, with Earthrise Grapple, I mean, yeah, he looks cool, but it's just a cartoon accurate grapple. This, we do get some cool automorph for the head. He's got a cool looking beefy crane mode. And honestly, I just think it looks cooler in my opinion. Sure, the hands can't hold anything, but I just think it looks cooler. So, yeah. Like the older Chug toys, like, I don't know, I'll say, like, classics all the way to Thrilling 30, they kind of have a charm to them that the later versions haven't matched. You know, like Prime having the cool modern-looking truck mode, or Bumblebee and Cliffdropper having the cool jet ski thing. it's stuff like this. I basically wish they would go back to a toy line where they just try and make the characters like. What if they had modernized vehicle modes or stuff like that? I don't know. Like, I love the stuff that they're doing now. Excited for the new Onslaught and stuff like that, but I still want to get the Universe Onslaught, if that makes any sense. Like, I still love the old Chug figures. So yeah, even today, I still recommend this or any other use of the molds. So yeah. So this has been a review on Solar Grapple. Solar Storm Grapple, okay? And this is a Transformers fan signing off.